Good afternoon to one and all present here. I am Dr. P Jawahar, working as Professor and Dean of Faculty of Technology at Kalinga University, Naya Raipur in the state of Chhattisgarh. So now let us move to the next topic. Let me explain about the Rankine cycle, the components of a Rankine cycle which is employed in the steam power plant. What is the difference between boiler mountings and boiler accessories, and few examples of these two. So Rankine cycle is the cycle which is employed in a steam power plant, which has got four major components: boiler, a turbine, condenser, and a pump. So the function of the boiler is to convert the water into steam. For that, what they are doing in the thermal power plant, which is the other name for steam power plant, they are burning coal, the solid fuel, which has got reasonably a good value of calorific value. Calorific value is nothing but the quantity of heat which is liberated when we burn 1 kg of fuel. Suppose if you have 1 kg of coal, when we burn, the amount of heat which is liberated in terms of kilojoules or joules, that is kilojoule per kg. So that quantity is called calorific value. And there are different grades of coal which are used in our country. Grade A, from grade A to grade F. According to the calorific value, the cost and the quality of the coal also varies. So this coal is burned in the furnace. The heat of that one is used to convert the water into steam. Mostly you get the superheated steam depending upon the operating condition, the efficiency of the boiler. Suppose if you are having the saturated steam, this one, so it is with the help of the superheated, it can be enhanced to superheated condition. Superheated condition refers to the condition that is above saturated condition, and subcooling condition refers to the condition below saturated condition. So now the boiler has converted the water into steam. This steam, let us assume that it is high pressure and high temperature. And of course, the velocity may not be that much high. So as I explained before, the nozzle will be introduced just before the inlet to the turbine, where the velocity of the steam will be increased. The nozzle does not have a moving parts. It has no rotating part. Due to the varying in the cross-sectional area, it converts the low velocity into high velocity, of course at the expense of another property which is called pressure. So the pressure drop takes place between the inlet and the exit of the nozzle, and that has been converted into velocity increase. Now the steam which is coming out of the nozzle, which is entering the turbine, it is high pressure, high temperature, and high velocity, and it is expanded in the turbine. So during this process, the shaft of the turbine rotates, which indicates that the mechanical energy has been produced. And this is coupled with the generator. So the generator will convert the mechanical energy into electrical energy. So the remaining steam at the exhaust of the turbine is taken to the condenser. And generally in steam power plant or thermal power station, water-cooled condensers are used. Normally air-cooled condensers are used only for smaller applications, not for larger applications. So water, since the heat removal quantity is very significant, very high, so only the water cooling is a good option. So in the condenser, what happens? The steam is condensed into liquid water. During this process, the latent heat is liberated. So in order to remove that one, water from the cooling tower will be circulated by the pump, which will remove the heat, and the temperature of the water will increase. It will again go back to the cooling tower for cooling, where the water will be cooled, and again it will be circulated back. The steam after condensing, that is from vapor state to liquid state, it will be pumped by a pump which is called feed water pump. Because that is the water which is fed back to the boiler. So that is why it is called a feed water pump. The same water is fed back to the boiler. So this is the cycle. So here also, in order to improve the efficiency of the cycle, there are 3 methods are employed. One is reheating, regeneration, and combination of reheating and regeneration. So these are primarily employed to improve the efficiency of the cycle. that is to improve the net power produced, the power produced during the Rankine cycle. Now let us see the difference between boiler mountings and boiler accessories. So what is a boiler mounting? Boiler mounting is a one which is primarily meant for safety operation of a boiler. Like for example, there is one boiler mounting called pressure gauge. So as the name indicates, it is used to indicate the pressure in this one. The pressure of the steam is indicated by this pressure gauge. Steam stop valve, that is another set of boiler mounting that supplies the steam according to the requirement. This fusible plug, it is a device. Suppose if there is overheating on the boiler walls, on the walls of the boiler, so there is overheating. This is like a small piece of a metal which will melt when there is overheating, thereby preventing the overheating of the boiler walls. So this is one boiler mounting. Then blow-off cock. Then safety valve, which is very, very important for the boiler operation. Without the safety valve, the boiler should not be operated. So these are all the essential components without which the boiler should not be operated. Water level indicator. That is another important boiler mounting, which is used to indicate the level of water in the boiler drum. The water level in the boiler drum should not go beyond a level, so which can be easily sensed by a water level indicator. And the blow-off cock is it is used for draining out the impurities. So primarily there are about 5 to 6 boiler mountings, which are very, very essential. When we take the boiler accessories are not mandatory for the operation of the boiler. We can operate the boiler without the boiler accessory also, but not without boiler mounting. There are primarily three types of boiler accessories are used. First one is air preheater, second one is economizer, and third one is superheater. In these three are primarily used to improve the performance of the boiler operation. So even though it is not mandatory to have these boiler accessories, most of the power plants will be equipped with all these three. These three are primarily heat exchangers, which are used to enhance the performance of the cycle. The first one is the air preheater. There is a heat exchange between the waste flue gases, which is going to the atmosphere through the chimney. So there is a heat transfer between hot flue gases, that is waste flue gases, and the air. So the air is preheated. So that is why it is called as air preheater. So air is preheated before it is combustion. The advantage of preheating the air before combustion is the efficiency of the combustion will be more. Obviously, the efficiency of the combustion, because already the air is preheated. So how the heating of air is done? That is done by the waste hot flue gases. Second one is the economizer. This is similar to air preheater. Instead of preheating the air in the economizer using the hot flue waste gases, the water is preheated. It is like water preheating. So not much difference between air preheater and economizer. Only the kind of fluid which is heated is different. So this is also, instead of suppose having water in the boiler at say 60 degree, suppose if I preheat or instead of having it at 40 degree or 45 degree, in case if I preheat it up to 60 degree, so that brings down the fuel consumption. So that improves the efficiency of the system. So that is the function of the economizer. So superheater, as the name indicates, it is used to superheat the steam. So though these three are not mandatory, most of the power plants or all the power plants will be equipped with these three devices. These are primarily meant for improving the performance of the system. That's it.